G'day guys, we're going to do something on vehicle features for the next few videos. We're going to start with this Ranger here. So this is our Ford Ranger. It's a year and a half old now. So we bought this originally for one of our other tour guides who didn't work out, and then I inherited it as our sort of corporate and cruisy tour car. So I'll go through the setup a little bit. We've kept it pretty simple, this one. So the 70 we've got is quite big and heavy, and we'll go through that in a separate video. But for this one, we've tried to keep it lightweight and very simple. So we've put an Ironman front bar on it here. This bar has worked quite well. I've actually hit a pig on the way up to the Cape with this vehicle, and it's withstood the hit. So it hit on this side here, hasn't bent the wing. So I was pretty impressed with the way that bar's worked. Now on the front of the bar, we've got the Light Force Beasts. Okay, always stuck with Light Force lights for the vehicles that we have. Australian made. They've always performed well, never had an issue. Polycarbonate lens covers, that sort of stuff, and they give you a good amount of light for driving at night, which we do a lot of driving at night to get to and from jobs. Inside the winch here, we've got a Bush Ranger Revo winch. So this vehicle's got the first generation of the Revo on it. So this is the 12,000 pound winch we've put in here. The Ironman bar comes with rated recovery points, which is important for what we do, both for tour recoveries and our accredited training that we run. So we need to use rated points for that. So we've got our standard sign writing on the vehicle. So all our vehicles that have a bonnet have the HEMA map on the bonnet of the map of Australia. The trucks are the only ones that don't have that because they don't really have a bonnet like that. So they're sign written differently, but the passenger vehicles are all sign written this way. Now, side of the vehicle, so we have Safari snorkel. We've chosen the poly Safari snorkel. I'm not a big fan of stainless snorkels myself, even though I do have one on one of my vehicles. I do like the Safari plastic snorkels for this application. Okay, pretty important what we do. We go through a lot of deep water. I've had this particular vehicle with water over the bonnet before in the Vic High Country. So snorkel is important for us. Wheels and tyres. So this one's just, again, because we're keeping it fairly simple build, we decided to go with steel wheels. Nice and strong. If we do bend one, we can bash it back into shape out in the field, which is important for us. We switched about a year and a half ago. We used to use Maxxis tyres on the tour vehicles. Now we had too many sideball failures with the sort of use that we do. It's commercial use, it's fairly heavy compared to what your average tourist would do. So we've had to upgrade to a more serious tyre. So the Yokohama Geolander is what we've gone with, the G003. So it's a mud terrain tyre. Nice and quiet on the highway though, this one still. So I've been pretty happy with its performance, longevity. This one here's probably only done maybe 20,000 Ks. So we've got these fitted in the Cape last year. But yeah, all the vehicles, all the passenger vehicles now, the road vehicles like this use Yokohama Geolanders. For suspension, again, we've chosen Outback Armour. So we've got Outback Armour 40mm lift with the Outback Armour upper control arms. So again, we don't need to go crazy. Most of what we do is touring, although this vehicle has done Cape York and some of the tough tracks in the Vic High Country. The 2-inch lift has been enough to do what we've needed it to do. It's been pretty flawless, the Outback Armour suspension, so we've stuck with that for this vehicle. Steps and rails, I'm not a fan of the look of brush rails, scrub bars, but they do serve a purpose, and you can see this one here has had a hit, as most of the ones in our cars have done. It does protect the vehicle from copying that hit. It does also push brush aside as per the name, brush bars. As you're pushing through, we go through a lot of tight tracks and scrub. Side steps, pretty mandatory if you're going to do any touring around Australia, that you have a steel set of side steps. If you've got the standard plastic or alloy ones, you're pretty much guaranteed they're going to get hit and bent fairly quickly. And straight after that, you find your sill is the next victim. So steel steps, again, Ironman steps and rails all goes with the bar. So stuck with that package. Moving to the back of the vehicle, so Trojan Tray. We don't run a canopy on this vehicle. So again, we're keeping it lightweight and simple. So we've just left it just as a tray. Alloy tray, drop sides. We could put a canopy on it if we wanted to, but it's not the purpose of this vehicle. We're not sort of staying out for months at a time in this one. Now, how is the tray set up? Again, with the mind of keeping it simple, we've got a 100 amp hour AGM battery in the back in a plastic box, a couple of outlets and voltage indicators on this. That's powered by a Red Arc DC-DC charger, just a 25 amp one, which you can see here. I'll drop this side down. Don't mind the thongs. So you can see the Red Arc 1225D. Okay, so lithium compatible if we ever wanted to swap that to lithium, but in this case we're just using an AGM. We're just using a basic switch panel box here. This controls things like our work lights. So we've just got 4 Light Force Rock 20s as work lights. We can switch them on left and right independently. So if we camp next to somebody, we won't annoy them by switching the lights on their side. We've left the ladder rack in the back in case we need to carry anything long, or if we wanted to put a rooftop. And we talked to Ford about it. They're happy to swap that out under warranty. But yeah, she's good as gold now. Ready for another 60 odd thousand Ks of tough work.